Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. The president literally threw out the script today. He went down to West Virginia to speak in an event that was supposed to be about tax reform, but he wound up talking about immigration instead. Here's part of it.
With us, it's a lottery system. Pick them out, a lottery system. You can imagine what those countries put into the system. They're not putting their good ones. And remember my opening remarks at Trump Tower when I opened. Everybody said, oh, he was so tough. And I used the word rape. And yesterday it came out where this journey coming up, women are raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. They don't want to mention that.
Well, that line's leading the nightly news across the country tonight. Here in Washington, it drove people completely crazy. How dare he tie immigration to rape? That's slander. Obviously, it's racist. He's not allowed to say that. As one CNN correspondent put it a minute ago, Trump, quote, doesn't tie himself to standards of fact and objectivity. He simply decides to say these things. Maybe he saw them on Fox News or watching Alex Jones. His habit is to repeat them regardless of them being consistently disproven. Okay, maybe he saw that on Fox. Maybe Trump was reading the Huffington Post, actually, because just a few years ago, before they started lying full-time, the people in charge were slightly less anxious to change the subject. Here, for example, is a verbatim September 2014 headline from HuffPo. Quote, 80% of Central American women and girls are raped crossing into the U.S. 80%. So, yes, there are rapists out there, uncomfortable as that fact may be for some to admit. Immigration affects public safety, and anyone who denies that is ignorant or dishonest. And yet a lot of people do deny it. Confront them with reality, and they call you names. They denounce you. Diversity is our strength, they screech, as if that settles the conversation by itself, like a magic talisman. They don't want to know the details. Facts are a threat to their fantasies. They don't want you to know the details either. Shut up and obey. Those are their orders. But no matter what they say, facts don't go away. They persist, despite official attempts to erase them. And here are some facts about the state of California. Democratic Senator Kamala Harris has called her state the future of America, and she may be right. California has, for generations, been on the leading edge of national trends in this country. So looking at California, what does it tell us about our future? Well, in California right now, more than 6% of the entire state is there illegally. That's about 2.5 million people. 1 million of those have state driver's licenses. Politicians in California are very proud of that fact. That has issued a press release to brag about what a great place California is for illegal aliens. And by the way, they're right. Compared to Oaxaca, it is a great place. It's way better. But what is California like for everyone else? 44% of Californians now do not speak English at home. The state no longer has a common language or a common culture. Its infrastructure is collapsing. Debt is out of control. Schools are unusable. Public spaces are filthy. The middle class is fleeing California for all of those reasons. Normal people can't live there anymore. In 2016, more than 100,000 Californians left. Housing prices are out of control. Wages are too low to keep up. The state increasingly consists of tech oligarchs and their imported low-wage servants. That's the point. California is developing the economic structure of Latin America. How long before it's Venezuela? You're not supposed to think about any of that. Our leaders command you not to. Send the National Guard to protect the borders? Why would we do that? As Morning Joe reminded us just today, border crossings are down. But that's a lie, like much of what you hear right now. It's untrue. Last month, more than 50,000 illegal immigrants were caught at our border. That's 3 times as many as were apprehended in the same month last year. Things are getting better. Go to California and see for yourself. As Kamala Harris says, it's our future. Noorani is executive director of the National Immigration Forum, and he joins us tonight. So here's just a broad question, and I'm glad you're back. You've been on the show a number of times. You've made the case, it's a pretty common case, that immigration, low-skilled immigration included, makes us richer. If that is true, why does a state with the highest number of immigrants, legal and illegal, the highest proportion of immigrants, now have more poverty than any other state and is almost $1 trillion in debt? Why isn't it working there?
Well, in California, you have an economy that is the 6th largest economy in the world. And I'm not going to say that California doesn't have its share of challenges, but those challenges are not to be laid at the feet of the immigrant community. There are challenges that come with a fast-growing economy that is, quite frankly, presenting challenges for everybody. So there are a lot of policy changes that can be put into place to help everybody prosper in California, but let's not, blame the immigrant.
But you're sort of, but hold on, wait,
no,
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm actually asking asking you to defend the argument that you've made on this show and that many others like you make every day, which is that America becomes more prosperous because of our immigration policy. Here's the state that has more immigrants than any other, and it's getting poorer. So I'd like to ask you to account for your position, if you would.
So when you look at the agricultural community in California, it is easily the largest agricultural sector in the country that is driven by and large by the immigrant community. The rest of the country has a hard time eating without the Mexican, the Latino
But that's
farm
not
worker
true.
in
That's
California.
not true.
Well,
California agriculture has
that?
become increasingly mechanized over the years. I'm from there. I have ag people in my family. There, it requires less labor now than it did 50 years ago.
When I talk to growers in California, they're looking for labor to pick crops, such as strawberries, melons. These are not crops that you can pick with a machine, Tucker. I mean, you know that. So
strawberries are one of the few crops that you can't look. Agriculture needs labor. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it needs less labor than it did 50 years ago. Yet the state has far more immigrants.
Then why are growers looking for? Then why are growers actually leaving crops in the ground? Because
look,
they don't
I'm
have a
not
labor
attacking.
supply.
Look, there are water problems in California. There are land use problems. There are a lot of problems in California. Labor is one of them. But the truth is, you have argued consistently on this show that letting in more people from other countries with low education levels will make us richer. We have a case study in stark relief called California, and the opposite has happened. So I really think the onus is on you to give a real explanation, not tell me that agriculture brings a lot of poor people, and that's not true. And you know it's not true.
So what happens in California, again, the sixth largest economy in the country, is that you have immigrants who are coming, working alongside American workers and their families, whether it's in the tech sector or in the agricultural sector. In both sectors, immigrants are helping create jobs in California. I mean, Tucker, you're trying to lay the problems and challenges.
I'm not. What I'm doing is asking. Hold on, no. What I'm asking for is an adult conversation, which is what you and others are trying. No, because you're not. You literally just stared to the camera like I'm some kind of moron and said it's the ag sector that's driving immigration to California. I know the numbers. That's not even untrue. It's ridiculous. So here's my other question: if California is a paradise, why is the middle class leaving? Why did 100,000 people move last year over a 7-year period? 675,000 more people moved to other states from California than moved into California. Why is that happening?
This is because in California you have a city that has, or a state that has all these incredible land use and zoning issues that you just talked about, Tucker. Again, this is not a problem that is at the immigrant community's feet. This is a problem that is facing California overall, and this is these are the challenges that comes with such amazing economic growth. If
it's so amazing, then why are people leaving? People who were born there are leaving. Let me ask you one last question, since I don't think you're going to concede that immigration has any role in any of this, which, with respect, is dishonest, and we both know it is. But let me ask you this. Irrefutably, 44% of California households do not speak English at home. Does that bother you at all? Do you think that long-term that suggests problems ahead, a state in which there's no common language? Do you think that possibly could cause problems there?
So when you talk to educators, when you talk to families across the state of California, you see that they are looking to learn English because they understand that if they learn English, they get a better job, their children have a better lot in life. So the fact is that the immigrant community in California and across the country is waiting in line to learn English. I mean,
then why is that number rising every year? Every year you have a higher percentage of households in California that don't speak English. So if what you said is true, why is that fact true? Because both can't be true.
Because you have more and more people who are looking to actually learn the language, which is, I think, the ultimate way to become American.
And yet more and more who don't know it. Magic. Okay. I'm sorry. Look, I just want to have a fact-based conversation. Nobody else does. You're a racist. Oh, whatever. But, like, this is real. It's happening to our country.
Tucker. No, I didn't say that. Tucker, let's not put words in my mouth. I mean, we're talking about the economy.
I don't think that you said that, and I didn't mean to suggest that you did.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't. But many people say that, and it short circuits the conversation. Anyway, Ali, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks.